Nick Carlson here at the Annapolis Recreation Field in Atlantic City. Got a nice breeze over the water coming onto this turf field. Suffolk Sharks taking on the ACCC Buccaneers women's soccer. About to get underway here. Just to read off some of the starting lineups for the Suffolk Sharks. Elias Shorter in goal. Mabel Lazo, Jasmine Amaya, Sarah Chinchilla, Matea Diaz, Tegan Halloran, Ava Ruiz, Dayanar Perez, Katie Zarala, Catherine Galazara, Shaylin Dougherty, and Christina Diaz come in for the Suffolk Sharks. Meanwhile, for the ACCC Buccaneers, Angela Ortiz, Sephora Ferguson, Maria Cabellos, Harley Pattison, Marissa DeCiccio, Elizabeth Maurer, Chloe Vogel, Emily Gil Lopez, Ashley Gross, Emlyn Quintero, Amanda Frambase, and Shelby Einweiter. Refs get in position, about to get underway any second now. Refs seem to be getting in position, and everyone else set to go. And within the next 10 seconds or so, expecting to get underway here at Annapolis Field. ACC Buccaneers taking on Suffolk Sharks. ACCC, a team that just recently started up their soccer program. Once again in the 2022 season, as whistles blow, we're underway here, just like the men, as they've restarted their team. This ball's passed around the midline now. The Suffolk Sharks with it. A ball that's sent all the way up. Halloran with it for the Sharks. And whistles blow, offsides called. Oh, to be Halloran, just got a little too far past the defense. Offsides called. Buccaneers are going to retake possession here in their defensive zone. So ACC, as I talked about, restarted their program. Haven't put up a lot of goals so far this year, but still building an all-freshman team. Very young as they boot one up ahead. Quintero, the one with it, but she ended up losing it. Ball goes out of bounds. They're going to say it's off the Sharks. And over about at the midline, the Buccaneers are going to have a throw-in. Pass inside to Ortiz. Ball that's now bobbled around. And now a ball that's just sent back into the defensive zone. Stopping it is the Buccaneers and keeping it in the defensive zone now. Still the Buccaneers before they send one up towards the midline. Vogel, the one who was the intended receiver but couldn't come up with it, is now the Sharks are going to throw one in over at the midline. Ball that bounces back outside. Looks like the Buccaneers are going to retake possession. Just about at that midline. Both teams have not really had an opportunity besides the offsides call. Now the Buccaneers inching closer and closer into the Sharks zone. Players just trying to keep it out. Now Halloran back with it on the far side. Halloran trying to slip past, but Buccaneers get a foot on it and are able to kind of send it a little bit away. Still trying to work at it. And now a ball that's just sent up in the air and all the way over into the box. Einweiter's the one who comes up with it. She'll make her way out of the box, tell her team to move back, and just boot one all the way up towards the midline. Now a ball at the midline. Still trying to fight for it, and a ball that's sent all the way back over to Shorter. Shorter inside the box for the Sharks will just send one out, and they'll retake their possession here in their defensive zone. Buccaneers trying to get a foot on it, trying to keep it in the offensive zone. It's now a ball that's all the way sent up. Still with it now, trying to get one over to the box on another pass, but not able to come through with it. Ashley Gross, the one with it, trying to track it down. Now Halloran with it, takes a shot, and an easy save by Einweiter. Now over in the box, taking a couple steps up, waiting for everyone to trail back towards the midline, and she'll just boot one towards the midline. Pass that was intended for Vogel, but a whistle gets blown. Looks to be a free kick just about inside that yellow circle. Not sure who's taking the kick yet, but ACC is going to have an opportunity here with a free kick just about at the midline. Here pretty early in this one, about 5 minutes through. Fran base is going to be the one to kick it. She boots one in all the way inside, an opportunity, but Shorter comes up with it. Able to get a hand on it before Angelica Ortiz is able to snag on inside the box. Sharks avoid danger there, but Buccaneers have shown they can play offense so far 5 minutes in. It's both teams now fighting for it in the defensive zone for the Buccaneers. Now what comes up with it, a breakaway opportunity for the Sharks inside the box, trailing. Loses the ball just a little bit, and now bodies start to fall, and a ball that goes out of bounds. Catherine Galizar, the one who had the best shot at it. She was on the breakaway, but just lost the footing a little bit. Ball just got away from her, but either way, a corner kick opportunity for the Sharks. Holleran looks to be the one heading towards the corner. Everyone gets set inside their box. The best opportunity so far for the Sharks coming very early in this one. There's a boot all the way towards the middle, just ends up hitting the side of the net. Einweichter just watches it go by as the Buccaneers are going to retake possession. Everyone starts to head to the midline. Looks like Einweichter's going to send it that way, and she just sends one out of bounds on the near side. The Sharks are going to retake possession off a throw-in. Looks to be Carrie Fitt, the one who's going to throw it in. About halfway in between the midline and the box, she sends one in, a ball that's just bounced around. Still going to end up in the possession of the Sharks. Rosario with it, trying to slip around and just sends one back to the midline to regain possession. Diaz with it. Now Diaz sends one over. Now on the far side, a ball that's just sent out of bounds, and another throw in here for the Sharks. Now inside. Diaz with it. Now a ball that's sent all the way up and looks to be going out of bounds, and it will. Einweichter's going to be the one just to throw it in. From inside the box, the Bucks are going to have possession. Both teams have had one very good opportunity, one coming from the Bucks on a ball that was sent in. Shorter able to step in front of it, and then a breakaway for the Sharks. Both stopped by the goalies. So far, two very good plays, one from each team. Both have shown that they can get into the offensive zone. It's a ball that's sent all the way up onto the far side. Vogel, the one that was with it, she ends up losing it. Now the Sharks are going to have it. Now Holleran with it on the far side. Trying to get around, and she'll send the ball inside the box. Bunch of bodies around, and a shot that just misses wide right. Never really had a shot to begin with as Einweichter. Just kind of watched it go by, just a little too far right, but another good opportunity there. Set up by Holleran on the far side box. It's going to set up the Buccaneers, and a ball that's booted all the way towards the midline. Stop before going out of bounds for the Sharks. Now up with it is Perez. Perez had it, ends up losing it, and a ball that's sent back to the midline by the Buccaneers. Now Rosario. Rosario sends one up to Holleran. Holleran on the far side. Over by the corner. Trying to slip around Cabellos. She does and takes a shot inside that's saved by Einweichter. Bunch of good saves to Sharp. Einweichter been under, I'd say, a lot more pressure than Shorter so far in this one. He's faced 3 shots compared to Shorter's 1. He's now on the far side. Still with it. Buccaneers able to get a foot on it, but end up losing it and just kind of kick one towards the midline. Buccaneers now back with it. Now a ball that was sent up for Galizar and not able to track it down, though, as that ball goes out of bounds. Buccaneers are going to have possession off the throw-in. So Garcia is going to be the one to throw it in. Garcia talking to the ref over on the near side, just at that yellow line. A player's down for the Sharks. It's Catherine Galizara. She's going to take a seat. Catherine Galazar, the one who's going to take a seat, and a new player will come into this one as we get reset. Garcia on the near side. He's going to wind up, launch one all the way in. Bunch of feet get hit on it, and now the Sharks with it. Zalara trying to flip around, still trying to get around. She'll send one up, but the Buccaneers able to get a foot on it. Still ends up in the corner now, and a ball that just trails out of bounds. Buccaneers possession. Sharks not able to corral it in the corner. Besides that one opportunity from the Bucks, the Sharks, for the most part, have done a very good job on offense, keeping it inside the zone. As Garcia with it now will send one up. A ball that just gets punched out of bounds. Lopez, the one who was last to touch it. Sharks are going to have possession, but Bucks still trying to thwart them inside the defensive zone. Now a ball that's sent all the way inside the box for a trailing Holleran. Holleran not able to get a foot on it as now Einweichter are able to jump on it inside the box. Good opportunity there from Holleran. Just inside the box with Einweichter able to get a foot on it. Able to get her full body on it. Cover it up to thwart anything else from this Sharks team. It's now on the far side. Not sure who's going to throw it in yet. No signal. Looks like the Buccaneers are heading over. No signal yet, and it's going to be the Bucks to throw it in. Off the throw-in. Ball that's sent in just about at the midline. Bunch of girls fighting for it, but the Sharks end up with it. Now over to the side. Diaz the one with it. Diaz moving inside, trying to flip in. Gets around a couple defenders, gets around a couple more, and tried to set up another pass, but the Buccaneers able to get in front of it. A ball that's sent all the way, and no one's there, though, for the Sharks. Diaz the one who sent it in. And another opportunity there for the Sharks. Buccaneers are going to retake possession, just trying to get past that midline now. And right on cue, a ball that ends up past the midline. Girl takes a fall. Now here come the Buccaneers. An opportunity there for Garcia, but not able to control it. So now Garcia ends up with it. An opportunity here. Trying to get on it is the Sharks, and a ball sent all the way in and gets it to go past Einweichter. An opportunity for the Sharks goes successful. 1-0. Sharks are going to lead this one. Don't have an exact name, but it looks like Ava Ruiz, the one who sent that ball in. So everyone makes their way back to the midline. 1-0. Einweichter lets up her first goal. Ball that just flipped behind the defense. Ruiz able to get a foot on it. Trailing in past Einweichter, who came out to try to stop it. Just slipped a little bit past her. Buccaneers find themselves in a 1-0 hole early in this first half. Now at the midline, just waiting the calls from the referees. Whistle blows, we're back underway here. Down 1-0. Ball that's sent up to Lopez. Ends up just getting taken away by the Sharks. Still trying to corral it is Lopez. Lopez with a foot on it. Sharks take it away and send one up. Garcia back on defense. We'll send one up to DeCiccio. DeCiccio was with it, and now Ortiz, the one who sends it back over to the midline. DeCiccio is trying to get a foot on it, along with Vogel. Now at the midline's Ortiz. Ortiz trying to send one up, but ball that goes off her foot a little weird will end up in Holleran's hands on the far side, right about at the midline. Now a ball that's sent up. Sarala with it. Now over to Ruiz. Ruiz trying to slip around in the corner. The one who just had the goal, looking for another opportunity. Now a ball that just ends up getting pushed a little out of bounds. Not sure if they're going to call it a goal kick or not. Or, excuse me, a corner kick, but I think that they will. Holleran looks to be heading over to the corner. So now over in the corner is Holleran. Down 1-0. Another opportunity here for the Sharks. Buccaneers need a good defensive stop. Everyone loaded in that box. Halloran raises her hand, fires one inside. Ball that's headed up still in front of the box, and Buccaneers desperately trying to get it out. Ball that's sent back up in the air, and Einweichter able to catch it. Able to stop this very aggressive offense for the Sharks. A bunch of good opportunities. Buccaneers still have only had one really good opportunity. It's a ball that's sent over to the midline. Still opportunities. A ball that's sent over to the midline. Still in play on the far side. Another corner kick. Just a second one in the last 30 seconds. ACC desperately trying to get something going on offense as a quick pass inside. Just ends up going back to Halloran. Halloran on the far side. Now over in the corner, and I think they called a whistle, and they did. Buccaneers, not sure what the foul was on, but Buccaneers are going to retake possession. Buccaneers still trying to get something going on offense. Besides the one opportunity with the through ball that was sent in just a little too far, and Shorter was able to corral it. Shorter, for the most part, has been very quiet in this one. Only really faced one shot compared to Weichner. Faced a lot so far in this one. Still in the first half, Buccaneers trail 1-0. It's now a ball that was tried to be sent up. Now Buccaneers still trying to get a foot on it before Ortiz sends one all the way up. Sharks able to build a good wall there, and now still trying to fight through all the Buccaneers. Ball that was sent up to CCO, the one that they keep trying to get the pass to. It's now a ball that's sent all the way up for Ruiz. Ruiz with it. Ends up losing it. Garcia able to get a foot on it, send one all the way up to the midline. Now the Sharks on the attack. Trying to slip around. Perez with it. Perez inside the box. Still trying to come up with it. Ends up running along the line, and whistle blows as they're going to say she just ran a little too far out of bounds. She was trying to ride that tightrope line. Buccaneers are going to come up with it. Einweichter, the one who's going to send it away inside her own box. And she will boot this one all the way in. It's stopped by the Sharks, though. Perez was able to get a foot on it. Buccaneers still trying to keep it away. DeCicio's there. Ortiz is there, too. She's trying to get a foot on it. Now Halloran with it. Just inside the box. Has an opportunity, but Halloran did a little bit of a flip as looks to be a couple Buccaneers defenders. Garcia was able to kind of get her foot out. Halloran just flipped right over. Now, still in the defensive zone. Sharks really controlled possession for just about this full entire game. It's Ortiz. Now with it. Trying to slip past the midline. She'll send one up, and Sharks able to get a foot on it and send it away. Sharks still with it. Now over to the corner. Buccaneers starting to head over there. Is in the corner now. A ball that's sent all the way inside. Buccaneers trying to set up a wall. It's a ball that was kind of just missed. Is now sent inside, and Buccaneers still trying to keep this ball away. Now back to the midline, setting up a more patient offense. Sharks with it. Lopez trying to put the pressure. Now still at the midline. Sharks send one up. Halloran the one with it. Now Rosario with it, and a ball that's sent all the way towards the goal and out of bounds. Einweitzer's going to have another shot to send this one towards the midline. So far she's come up a little short on the midline. Sharks able to control it, but beyond that, they've really just controlled this midline completely. Still early in this one, a lot of shot opportunities for the Sharks. Only one for the Buccaneers. Beyond that, Shorter's been not that busy back there in net. Ball that sent up the wind from the ocean, kind of pushing it back. It's Halloran able to come up with it, slips past a couple defenders, sends one up for Ruiz. Ruiz takes a shot, goes off her foot a little weird. Now inside the box, Buccaneers able to control it and get it away. Vogel was trying to get around. She ends up losing it. Sharks just take a shot that flies up and over the fence, and Buccaneers are going to retake possession. So Einweichter, the one with it inside the box. She's done a lot of goal kicks so far in this one. Sharks have really put the pressure on. Now the Sharks still with it. Trying to slip past and send one up. An opportunity here inside the box. Bucks giving pressure, and a ball that just flutters out of bounds. They're going to say it was off the foot of a Buccaneer, I think. And they do. So corner kick on the way. Seems to be Carrie Fitt heading over for the Sharks. A lot of corner kicks so far early in this one. ACCC have yet to have a corner kick, especially in their offensive zone. As a ball that's sent all the way in, headed up in the air, and ends up just going out of bounds. They're going to say it was off of a Shark, and Einweichter is going to have another goal kick here. Ball that's sent all the way up to the midline. Sharks able to head it, keep it up in the air. Sharks able to control possession. A ball that's sent up. Ruiz with it. Halloran now trying to chase down a pass over into the corner. Trying to get around a couple defenders, but Garcia just sends it up. Now back with it. Ball that's sent up. Buccaneers trying to control the possession. Halloran with it. Halloran up. Buccaneers just trying to cross the midline. And an opportunity here for them. The ball that's sent up just goes through the legs. Quintero was the receipt of the pass. Ball just kind of skipped through her legs a little bit, and an opportunity there. Not even defensively from the Sharks, but ball that just went through her legs. And now an opportunity from the Sharks. A ball that slips by. Just able to corral it, but Garcia sends it out of bounds. And another corner kick. Great play there by Garcia. And an opportunity for the Sharks. Garcia says, I'd rather take the corner kick than the goal, though. Carrie Fitt heading over for another corner kick. It seems like when it's on the near side, Fitt is going to be the one kicking it. When it's on the far side, Halloran's going to be the one kicking it. Both have showed they have a big leg and can get it there. There's one that's sent all the way inside the box. A ball that's still fluttering around, trying to do something with it. Now Fitt back with it, sends it back inside, and now sent up in the air, still headed up in the air. Buccaneers just trying to get rid of it. A ball that kind of just pushes a little bit away towards the midline, and now the Sharks are going to retake possession here, trying to set up a more patient offense. Is Fitt with it. Fitt trying to slip by, gets around a couple more. Still trying to get inside the box. Ball that's sent up. Now trying to track it inside. Einweichter had an opportunity to just corral it, but it didn't matter because the Sharks just kind of kicked it out of bounds. Einweichter's going to have another goal kick. So Einweichter, she's been doing a lot of goal kicks so far in this one, been under a lot of pressure. Buccaneers currently trail 1-0. Suffolk Sharks. Ball that's sent up in the air towards the midline, headed up by the Sharks. Now the Buccaneers trying to hold it in their zone. Quintero, the one trying to keep it. Now Vogel loses it, but Sharks still with it in the far side. Trailing inside the box, trying to get around. Bodies fall. Not sure what they're going to call it on. No foul or anything. Now Buccaneers just try to head it up. Halloran with it on the far. Halloran trying to sneak inside. Gets around a couple. Still inside the box. Gets it up ahead. Still up ahead. And a ball that just gets jumped on by Einweichter. inside the box, and she'll set up for another kick inside the box. Now at the midline. The Buccaneers have not been able to get past the midline, let alone Diaz on the far side. It's now a ball that's sent up ahead. Einweiter's going to jump on it inside the box. Einweiter hasn't really been able to get it towards the midline. She punches one up. Ortiz with it. DeCiccio the one with it. Now a ball that's sent up. Christina Diaz on the near side will just send one. Buccaneers able to get a body on it, keep it as close as they can to the midline, and a ball that's just sent up and towards the side. So Fit about 5 yards away from the midline. Substitutions will come in. Not sure who's coming out. Looks like Diaz and Ruiz. It's a ball that's sent all the way in past the midline. Buccaneers trying to get a foot on it. Fit trying to get back on top of it, and ball that's sent out by the Bucks. Fit's going to come back with it. Over on the near side, a ball that's sent all the way in. Perez with it. She'll send a shot up, and easy catch there from Einweiter. A ball that just landed right in her gloves. Kind of a pop-up in baseball terms, but Einweiter is going to punt another one up to the midline. Sharks trying to keep it out of the zone. Body falls, but Buccaneers with an opportunity just trying to keep it there, and Ortiz now trying to track it down along with Vogel. Halloran able to come up with it. Now Vogel with it. Vogel not able to corral it. Halloran was able to kind of punch it away, and now the Buccaneers are able to send one up. Fit back with it at the midline. Trying to get around a couple defenders. DeCiccio trying to go at it where they're still trying to go at it where there's now Fit takes a fall, whistle blows. DeCiccio the one who was charged with the foul. So Fit just about at the midline. Going to have a free kick here. A little too far to really get one near the net, but she'll send one as far as she can. Halloran was the intended receiver. Is now on the far side. Garcia able to just kind of punch it away. Ball able to stay in bounds, though. They avoid the throw-in. Buccaneers now. Now a foul's called. Not sure what they call it on, but the Buccaneers are going to have possession. Still just looking for something on offense. Maria Cabellos, the one with it off the throw-in. She'll chuck one in. Ashley Gross, the one with it. And it's just going to be a free kick. Excuse me, no throw-in. Cabellos looked like she was headed to do the throw-in, but Gross with it. And Gross will just send one up towards the mid. Trying to get a foot on it was DeCiccio. She kind of bops one up. Still being headed up by the Sharks. Quintero was trying to get a foot on it as well, but a ball that's sent up to Halloran. Halloran trying to get around it. She'll just kick it off a Buccaneer. And the Sharks are going to have possession, moving just a little closer to the box. Still 1-0 Sharks lead over the Bucks. Buccaneers very slow on offense so far, but still early in this one. Sharks have dominated time of possession as Einweiter able to just get a handle of that, and she'll have another goal kick. She's been very busy today. Einweiter sets one up. Sharks able to get a foot on it. Still able to get a foot on it is the Sharks, and a body falls as Cabello's trying to track it down. Halloran trying to play some defense, trying to keep it inside. Still going at it. Gross was going at it with Halloran. He's now at the about 15 yards or so from the midline. The Buccaneers are going to have it. So off the throw-in. Whistles blow and we're ready to start again. Is now off the throw-in. A ball that's taken away by the Sharks. Buccaneers trying to track it down. Still trying to track it down. Holleran and Gross just sends it back, and Einweichter steps up and fires this one towards the midline. Now sent back up. Ball's just going back and forth as now the Sharks with it in the offensive zone. A ball that's kind of gets away from Amaya, but now a ball that officially goes out of bounds. Buccaneers are going to have another throw-in. Still just trying to cross that midline. Buccaneers have not been able to really keep the time of possession here. As Sharks able to steal that one away, and off the throw-in, they'll toss one into the Buccaneers zone. They'll say that it was off one of the Sharks. Now the Buccaneers on the far side with the throw-in. Still just trying to get past the yellow line. Now back with it. Holleran has a foot on it. Still with it at the midline. She'll send one all the way up. Gets past a couple defenders inside the box, trying to sneak inside, and she'll take a shot that's just sent away by Garcia. Corner kick on the way. Fit looks to be the one heading over to take it. And the Sharks will have another opportunity here to add to their lead. 1-0, an opportunity to make it 2-0 as everyone stacks inside the box. A lot of corner kicks so far for the Sharks. And a ball that's sent in. Gets over a couple, gets past a couple, and a ball that's just sent up in the air and hits the fence behind Einweichter's goal. And that's going to be Buccaneers possession. Currently trailing in this one, 1-0. Sharks have had a lot of opportunities. Einweichter been under a lot of duress so far in this one. She's done a good job only allowing one goal. She sends one up. Sharks able to corral it. And a foul's called. Not sure. I think they're going to call it on the Buccaneers, and they will. So whistle blows for the Buccaneers. Sharks are going to be the ones on the free kick. Thought Amaya was going to kick it, but it's going to be Fit running over. Just outside the ACC bench. It'll be a free kick a little closer here. An opportunity to get it inside the box. And they elect to go the short route. So Rosario with it. Gets it back up to Fit. And a ball that goes a little too far and whistles blow as Fit trying to keep it before it went out. Not able to do so. Buccaneers are going to have the ball off the throw-in. Ball that's thrown into Ortiz. She kind of punches one up. Now trying to fight for it. Sharks and Buccaneers both going at it, and a ball that's sent up. Now a ball that's popped up. Ortiz trying to track it down. Quintero with it, and Quintero just kind of pushes that one out of bounds. Sharks are going to have a throw-in, and they do. Holleran with it. Sharks still trying to keep it. Zarala gets around, fires one over to the corner, and a ball that just goes out of bounds, a little too far out of reach. Buccaneers going to have another opportunity here to get something going on offense. Substitutions will come in. Looks like Cabellos is going to be the one who's going to take a seat. So ACCC, Einweichter punches one up. Now a ball that's corralled by the Sharks, getting around the box, trying to get around a couple. She'll try to fire one in, but both bodies collide, her and Garcia. Garcia now trying to ride that tight rope. And a ball that's just taken away by the Sharks and sent back Fit with it at the midline. Fit will send one all the way into the corner. Amaya the one with it, a ball that was sent for Holloran, but Buccaneers able to just push it away. Now over on the far side. Ball that's sent in and just bounced off a couple Buccaneers, and that one's going to go out of bounds. Corner kick opportunity here. Holloran going over to the far side. It's been the tale of corner kicks so far in this one. Sharks have had a lot of them. Haven't been able to capitalize, but still there's been a lot. It's now a ball that's sent inside the box. Still inside the box. A ball that's pushed up in the air and over the net, over the fence, and over into the street as an opportunity there for the Sharks. Just goes a little too tall. It's the wind from off the water. Really pushing from left to right, so stopping all the balls that Einweichter kicks as she sends one up. Buccaneers trying to get something going. Sharks have done a good job of not even allowing the Buccaneers to really even cross the midline. DeCiccio with it. DeCiccio, the best chance that they've had really all day. Sends one up ahead, and Sharks able to get a foot on it. DeCiccio still going back with it. A foul's called. So they're going to call DeCiccio. It looked to be a foul. Diaz was the one who fell. So the Sharks are going to have a free kick. Fit heading over to kind of just send one away. The second time all game that really the Buccaneers have been able to get past the defense of the Sharks. And Fit will boot this one all the way to the midline. Ball that gets past Holloran, gets past a couple of the defense. Slips inside the box, still trying to track her down. It's Garcia. Ball is shot on the way. Saved by Einweichter. Still going back at it. Saved again. Einweichter. Been under a lot of pressure so far. Makes two great saves. Holloran able to put the pressure on. And a ball that's just sent all the way up towards the midline and out of danger. Einweichter is going to regroup back in her net. So now Garcia sends it in. Ortiz was the one throwing. Garcia will try to push this one into the defensive zone. Diaz with it. Diaz sends one up. Trying to get around. Now Vogel with it. Vogel trying to slip around at the midline. Coming across the near side. Still trying to get around. Heading into the corner. Trying to get past three defenders. And now ball. Pattison with it. Pattison gives one over to Ortiz. DeCiccio ends up with it. She'll send a shot in, and Shorter with her first save in about 15, 20 minutes or so. It's a ball that sets up to Holloran. Holloran heads one off. Has another opportunity here. Gets past a couple defenders. Garcia trying to chase her down. She'll send a shot in, and Einweichter able to jump on it once again. Holloran with 3 shots on Einweichter on what have, for the most part, been breakaway opportunities. Einweichter able to get her hands on him. He's now over at the midline. The Sharks with it. We'll send one up. Holloran with it. She's been a vocal point of this offense so far, and she sends one up. Another one for Einweichter. As that one's corralled. So now Einweichter trying to tell her team to move back, and she'll send this one all the way to the midline. Sharks able to get a foot on it. Amaya with it. Trying to slip past a couple defenders. Gets one up for Holloran, but just misses her. And now what seems like a breakaway opportunity. Gets around the box with the Buccaneers. Able to get a foot on it. Sharks still trying to get something going, but a ball that's just sent back towards the fence. Whistles blow, and they're going to say it's going to be Buccaneers ball. So the Buccaneers, inside their own defensive box, past 3 minutes or so have had 2 offensive opportunities. Besides their first in the beginning, haven't really had that many. ACCC and Ashley Gross inside the box. Just trying to boot one up. DeCiccio with it. Now over to Ortiz. DeCiccio back with it. Over on the near side, a ball that's sent all the way up, but Diaz able to stop it, kick it out of bounds. Buccaneers still are going to have an offensive possession, though. About 15 yards or so past the yellow line. And now, in this game, have started to have their opportunities that they kind of showed in the beginning. So Ortiz is going to send one in. DeCiccio was the target. Sharks able to corral it, though, and ball that was touched out of bounds by the Sharks. Buccaneers move just a little closer. Ortiz going to be the one to throw it in. Ortiz about halfway in between the box and the midline. DeCiccio corrals it, and now just off the out of bounds call, Buccaneers are moving closer and closer. Now almost directly with the yellow line. Ortiz trying to control traffic, and she'll throw it backwards. Garcia with it. Garcia closely guarded by Fit. Tries to get around her, and she'll just send that one up. Shorter able to make an easy save, and she'll boot one all the way towards the midline. Halloran trying to chase it down. Last line of defense for the Buccaneers. Halloran right outside the box. She'll take a shot, and that ball just finds the back right of the net. Halloran able to squeak one in finally. 4 opportunities for her. The 5th one ends up going in, and Halloran makes this game 2-0. So Tegan Halloran, the one with the goal, been a vocal part of this offense, and right on cue, she'll take a seat. Had 4 opportunities on Einwegner. Einwegner saved all of them, 2 of which were breakaways that ended up leading to deflections that Buccaneers were able to stop, but not able to stop that one. Now the Buccaneers trail 2-0 on a ball that's sent in. Fitz able to stop it from getting any further into their zone. Now over at the midline. Rosario sent it back to Diaz. Diaz getting closer to that yellow circle. We'll just send one over to the side. Ball that's sent up, stopped by the Buccaneers defense. Pushed away, and a ball that's kind of poked away. Perez able to come up with. Perez trying to trail pass, but Einwegner able to jump on it before anything else happens. And she'll send one up to the midline. Vogel trying to get a foot on it. Sharks still able to come up with it. Buccaneers defense able to get a foot on it. Vogel with it. Vogel trying to slip past. Gets it past a couple Sharks defenders, and now DeCiccio trying to get past Fit. Fit ends up with it at the midline, trying to figure out what to do with it. She'll send it over to the side, and that ball sent up. Buccaneers able to get a foot on it. Fit ends up back with it at the midline. Fit trying to slip past Ortiz, and she'll just send it back to Rosario. Rosario now trying to get past Ortiz. Now at the midline, a ball that's sent up to the Sharks, and a foul's called. They're going to say it was on the Buccaneers. Sharks are going to have it off the free kick about 2 yards or so in front of that yellow line. An opportunity for Fit here. Has shown that she has a strong leg. Will send it all the way in. Einwegner just catches the pop-up. Now ball sent in from the box towards the midline, and that ball just goes out of bounds. Sharks are going to have another opportunity here. Chance to make this game 3-0. Buccaneers trying to deny that and make it a 2-1 game. Still have really not had that many shots. Sharks have played great defense so far in this one. Now off the throw-in. Sharks about midway in between yellow line and the box. Off the throw-in. Maya was the target, but ball that just bounces off of her and goes out of bounds. Ortiz trying to get ahead on it, but ends up just going off of her. A ball that's sent back to the Sharks. Sharks still with it. Rosario sends one up. Moore the one that kind of pushed it away, and a ball that's sent all the way over to the side, over to the black fence, and Einweichter able to have another opportunity at a goal kick here. So Einweichter over at the yellow line has a line drive kick sent in. Sharks able to get a foot on it. Still able to get a foot on it. Ruiz trying to slip past a couple, sends one up. Buccaneers still trying to just fight to keep it out of the zone, and they do. They punch one up. Sharks have done a good job of limiting the space that the Buccaneers are able to keep away from them as Ortiz trying to slip around a couple defenders, still trying to slip around a couple defenders, sends one up to Vogel. Vogel now directly in the middle, sends one up, but just a little too short of a kick. Ortiz still with it, trying to slip around Ruiz. Ruiz able to control up with the Buccaneers, just send one all the way into Cicio, trying to track it down along with Diaz. Ball that's sent in for the Sharks. Buccaneers now push it back to Cicio with it on the receipt of the pass. Diaz able to get a foot on it though and keep the damage away. Diaz now back with it, sends it up, in a ball that goes off of Cabellos and out of bounds. Sharks are going to have possession. Buccaneers still trying to play press defense right outside the box. Ortiz with it, now sends it back. Garcia at the midline, sends one up to Cicio on the receipt of the pass. Able to get on her foot, now in the Nick Carlson back here at the Annapolis Recreation Field. Atlantic City right by the waters. Winds breezing in, sides flip. Sharks of Suffolk currently lead the ACCC Buccaneers. Here for women's soccer 2-0. Bunch of opportunities for the Sharks. Shelby Einwhite just been under a lot of pressure so far. Has made a lot of good saves. Allowed 2 goals, though. Halloran and Ruiz responsible for the both of them. Very good play offensively for the Sharks. Buccaneers and what their defense has been able to do, only allowing 2, especially on all the opportunities that they've had. Buccaneers offense just not able to get going so far in this one. Either way, the Sharks are going into the wind now. Buccaneers taking the way of the Sharks going opposite. As I said before, sides flipping. We're underway here in the second half. 2-0 is Fit with it now. Just inside that circle. Sends one up to Rosario. Rosario trying to slip past the defense. Sends one over to Halloran. Halloran just inside the box. Sends one inside just a little too far behind Ruiz. And an opportunity there for the Sharks. They're still going to have possession, though. Fit with it. Vogel on her. Fit trying to slip past. Vogel not letting her past. And they're just going to set them back up here. Just outside the yellow circle. Diaz trying to get in. Gets one over just inside the box. Slips past a couple. And Garcia able to get a foot on it. And Einweichner comes out of net and just jumps on it. Just at the top of the boxes. That's going to set up a goal kick. She had a lot in the beginning of the first half. A lot of corner kicks, too, for the Sharks. The Buccaneers did not have one corner kick. That ball just rides the wind all the way into the defensive zone of the Sharks. Fit with it. Gets it over to Diaz in the corner. That ball is just sent up. Vogel able to get a foot on it. Now DeCiccio with it. DeCiccio in the offensive zone tries to get around a couple, but Ruiz ends up with it. Buccaneers able to keep it in the offensive zone. Vogel trying to get a foot on it, but not able to come up with it. Sharks off the throw-in. Just about at that yellow line. Whistles blow. I think a little bit of confusion. Refs trying to talk it out as that game gets back underway. Sharks off the throw-in, trying to get it in the offensive zone. Not able to corral it, though, as the Sharks, just in front of their bench, send one up. Buccaneers defense able to get a foot on it. Sharks trying to keep it in the offensive zone, and a ball that just rolls out of bounds. Looked to be Gross, just ended up kicking it out. Now Rosario with it. Rosario sends it back to Fit. Ends up just going past Fit and towards Diaz. Diaz trying to slip past. Now gets one up. Trying to get around Vogel. Now Rosario slips inside, sends one up to Ruiz just a little too far. And a ball that's just kicked away by Lopez. So that's going to be a corner kick. First of the second half. A lot of corner kicks in the first half as Halloran takes her spot over in the corner. Everyone starts to head into the box. And a 2-0 lead with an opportunity to make it 3-0. Halloran in the corner. Raises her hand, winds up. Sends one inside on the near. And a ball that just trails outside the box. Buccaneers thwart another defensive opportunity. Now trying to get around are some of the Sharks. Diaz, the one that was with it. She ended up losing it. Rosario was back with it. Now Matea Diaz. Trying to get around a couple defenders. Gets around one. Moves closer inside and finds Halloran in the corner. Halloran gets around. Gives it over to Ruiz. Ruiz in the corner. Trying to get around Garcia, and a ball that just goes out of bounds is going to be a throw-in for the Sharks. Halloran in the corner. Lopez on her tight. Ball that's just sent in.
is punched away by the Buccaneers. Sharks have done a good job so far early in this one, just keeping it in the offensive zone like they did in the first half as Fit gets past a couple. Fit trying to keep the ball on her foot, gives it over to Ruiz outside the box, over to Rosario, and a ball that is sent up in the air and hits off the black fencing. Einweichter is going to have another opportunity here with a goal kick just to send this one away. Wagner had a bunch of good saves, especially on Holleran, especially when there was a breakaway that led to a deflection and a bunch of good opportunities for the Sharks. But Einweichter able to just hop on them before they got any worse. As now the Sharks with another offensive opportunity send one inside the box. Buccaneers able to get a foot on it. DeCiccio able to stop it as Ortiz trying to chase it down now. Some of the Sharks take a fall, and they're going to call a foul on what looked to be Ortiz. Zarallo, the one who fell, as Rosario looks to set up to take a free kick. About maybe 15 yards or so in front of that yellow box to start. As everyone gets set up in their position, Rosario hits a ground ball over to Einweichter, and she just watches that roll out of bounds. Buccaneers are going to retake possession. Einweichter with another goal kick. She's been pretty busy, especially with the goal kicks as well as shots faced so far. Sharks have put a lot of pressure on her. She's done a good job only allowing 2 goals. She sends a line drive into Cabellos. Cabellos trying to corral it. Now everyone else gets involved, and Ruiz ends up with it. Ruiz with Garcia on her. Zarallo with it, sends it up, but Buccaneers able to get a foot and block it away. Vogel with it at the midline. Vogel sends one up. It bounces off of Fit. Fit able to corral it and send it back to Shorter. Shorter sends one over to the midline, and a ball that's just sent back. She'll corral it. Slow down the pace of play here before she boots one all the way up, and you're seeing the wind effect there as she was able to boot these balls all the way towards the yellow line. That wind kind of just stopped it in midair as Buccaneers, with their first offensive possession, end up just losing it as Rosario able to come up with it. Now Holleran gets past a couple, still trying to break through. Garcia's the last person that could beat her. Einweichter able to jump on it as Holleran has shown that she's very explosive. Already has a goal and a lot of breakaways to go with it. Einweichter boots one up towards the midline, a ball that the wind just takes it as Diaz trying to track it down. Vogel's on her too. Now Fit with it. DeCiccio. Now over to Zillar. Back over to Holleran as Holleran tried to send one up to Ruiz, and Holleran over in the corner. Holleran was going to be the receipt of that pass, but a ball that just went a little too far, and Garcia's going to watch as it just goes out of bounds. So Einweichner's going to have another goal kick here. What's been a lot of her kicking towards the midline. She sends in a line drive that curves over to Cabellos. Cabellos with it. Slips past her feet a little. Still trying to stay with it as Holleran ends up back with it. Sends one up to Ruiz in the corner. Garcia on her just outside that box. Ruiz still with it. Gives it up. Trying to trail inside, and a ball that was sent up. Now Holleran looking on that far side box, and a ball that's just taken away by the Buccaneers. Einweichter ends up jumping on it, thwarting any type of opportunity there for the Sharks. Sharks still lead this one 2-0. Einweichter sends the ball up and deep into the offensive zone for the Buccaneers. Christina Diaz trying to track it down. No Buccaneer really in sight. as they wait at the midline for the Sharks to pass. Fit with it. Fit trying to slip past ACCC, gets it through to Rosario. Back to Matea Diaz. Diaz trying to slip past. Gets it up. Zarala slips past a couple. Got past Garcia. Garcia chasing her down. Still chasing her down. Gets her a little off course, and Einweichner able to jump on it. Zarala is fast, but Garcia just a little faster there. As a ball up in the air. Diaz able to jump on it before anything happens, and now Christina Diaz gets it up to Fit. Fit with it. Rosario now just sends one all the way over. Holleran trying to track it down. Still trying to track it down, and a ball that's just kicked out. Bounds by Emily Gil Lopez. Holleran on the throw-in. Sends it behind her. Holleran back with it. Has Lopez on her. Tries to get around her and fires a shot that bounces off Garcia and backwards over to Rosario. Rosario tries to set up. Ball that's sent inside is just punched away by the Buccaneers, and now Christina Diaz with no one in the vicinity of her. Sends one up. Perez gives it over to the corner. Corner trying to make a couple moves. Buccaneers get a foot on it. Perez ends up back with it in the corner. Sends a ball inside. Garcia ends up on her foot and she sends it out. Sharks still able to come up with it. Rosario had an opportunity. Still has an opportunity. Now a ball that's sent in. Wind kind of stops it as Einweichner just lets it one hop into her hands. Einweichner boots one up. Wind showing that it's very much taking it. Matea Diaz trying to corral it. Fit ends up with it. Fit over to Christina Diaz. Diaz trying to slip past. Diaz still with it. Punches one up, and Ortiz the one who just sent it back, but that one goes out of bounds. Sharks are going to have possession just in front of their bench. The Buccaneers still looking for that first goal as Perez on the far side, closely guarded by Ortiz, slips around her, gets inside the box, punches one up, but the Buccaneers are able to get a foot on it. Perez still trying to fight for it, and a ball that just goes out of bounds. DeCiccio, the one who kicked it out. A throw-in opportunity here for Christina Diaz and the Sharks. So Diaz fires one in. Fit was trying to get a foot on it, and Fit ends up with it now. Fit. Not a lot of defenders near her. Sends one up. Zarala sends a shot, and that's just a little too far right. Einweichner jumped down to get it, but just a little too far out of her reach and out of the net's reach. Einweichner with a goal kick. And a ball that's sent up toward the midline. Matea Diaz trying to get a foot on it. Ortiz trying to slip around. Gets it up to Vogel. Vogel sends one up to DeCiccio, but Fit steps in front of it. Now the Sharks still with it. Fit. Now at the midline. Cabello steps in front. Diaz trying to step in front as well. Fit ends up back with it. And now Christina Diaz sends one up to Holleran. As Cabello steps in front of that one. Still waiting for the offenses. A ball that was sent up to DeCiccio goes a little too far. DeCiccio once again with an opportunity, but balls that are just a little too far out of reach is Ruiz now with it. Ruiz waiting for her offense. Now to Zarala. Zarala over to Perez. Perez trying to slip past over in the box, but Garcia playing very tight defense and just sends one over to the fence. Sharks are going to have possession here, but Garcia not allowing anyone anywhere near that box. So some substitutions. Player for each ACCC is Suffolk. Suffolk Sharks inside the offensive zone, trying to slip past and sends the ball just a little too far to the right as Heinweichner watches another one hit that right side of the net. So it's going to be a corner kick here. Fit heading over to that very far side corner over near the crates. Right by the flag, she takes a long stance and sends one in just a little short inside the box. Gets past a couple. Cabellos just trying to get rid of it. Buccaneers able to get rid of it is DeCiccio with it. DeCiccio with the man in front of her. It's a ball that's kind of just stopped and Rosario able to end up with it. So now the Sharks closely guarded by some of the Buccaneers is a ball that they're going to say is out of bounds. It's going to be the Sharks, or excuse me, it's going to be Garcia and the Buccaneers with it. Ball that's sent into Ortiz. Ortiz trying to take care of it at that midline, but Fit ends up with it. And a ball that's just sent in all the way into the Buccaneers is Holloran trying to track it down, gets behind her. Holloran with a breakaway opportunity inside the box, steps inside, takes a shot, and Holloran with her second goal of the day, 3-0. Holloran finds the back of the net, getting behind the defense. Got behind Lopez, trying to track it down, and Tegan Holloran showing that her offense is something not to be messed with. (3-0). The Sharks lead over the Buccaneers. Buccaneers still trying to get something going on offense. Haven't really been able to as a ball that's taken away Perez. Perez with it. Punches one up to Ruiz that just goes a little too far, and Einweichner able to jump on it before anything else happens. Einweichner's done a great job in goal so far. Even though she's allowed 3 goals, she's faced a lot of shots. Holloran has really put the pressure on her. We saw it early in this game. We just saw it again now, as Fit and Diaz passing back and forth. Now a ball up ahead. Ortiz trying to step in front, but the Sharks able to push it up. Now Zalara. Zalara over to the corner to Perez, but a ball that's just a little too far. Buccaneers able to corral it. A ball that's sent backwards to Diaz. Diaz over to Zalara. Zalara trying to slip in through the corner. Gets past in a ball that was sent in, punched away by the Buccaneers. Sharks are going to retake possession. Rosario still with it. Sends a shot inside, and Einweichner able to catch that line drive one hop. Another good opportunity for the Sharks, who just scored their 3rd goal in Tegan Holloran. That's her 2nd goal so far, so 2 on the day. Ruiz has the other to make it 3-0. It's a ball that was just sent all the way in as Shorter comes up with it. It's going to have a goal kick here. Hasn't had a lot so far. It's a ball that's sent towards the midline. The wind kind of stops it. Ortiz stops it with her body and sends it up, but Rosario steps in front of it at the midline. Rosario sends one up. Holloran been pretty good all game. Gets a ball taken away from her by Garcia. Garcia trying to get past Holloran, and she just sends one out of bounds. Sharks looking for a throw-in. Holloran with another opportunity there. Gets the ball in the corner. Garcia pressuring her just outside the box, and a ball that's sent back to the corner, sent inside the box to CCO. Fit tries to get a hand on it. Now Diaz to Diaz. Diaz slips past, now over to Zalara. Zalara over into the corner, trying to squeeze past now into the box. And a ball that's sent back. Diaz sent it back in. Now ball just going back and forth between the box and over towards the midline as Rosario takes a shot all the way to the left of the net. Steinwegner just watches it go by, and an opportunity there for the Sharks once again here in the second half. Just misses a little too far on the net. Steinwegner's going to have another goal kick, and everyone makes their way towards the midline. Sharks currently leading this one 3-0 over the ACCC Buccaneers. So DeCiccio, Rosario, ends up with it. Gets it over to Holloran in the corner. Holloran gets it over to Ruiz. Ruiz guarded by Garcia. Back over to Holloran right outside the box. Sends one over into the box and just goes off the foot of a couple Sharks. And now over to Perez. Perez trying to fight for it in the corner. Buccaneers not making it easy for her, as a ball that's sent away is going to be regained possession by the Sharks. Sharks' time of possession, although we don't have the exact numbers, is probably pretty high. Buccaneers have played great defense, but the time of possession, especially for how the Sharks have been able to keep the ball, is a ball that's sent in, misses wide right. Einweichner is going to have a goal kick. You'd have to think that that time of possession is going to be pretty large, especially with how these girls for the Suffolk Sharks have played today. Holloran's been a key contributor, has 2 goals. Ruiz, 1 goal. As a body falls, and the Sharks with it in the corner trying to slip past. Now deep into the corner. Sends a ball inside the box, but just gets poked away by the Buccaneers. Sharks still able to come up with it. A ball that's sent in for Einweichner. Just a little too far. Anything shorter than Holloran could have had a real good shot at it. Einweichner just going to set up another goal kick. She boots one high up in the air. Gets past a couple girls. Quintero trying to locate it, but Diaz ends up with it. Diaz tried to ride that line and ended up kicking it while the ball was out of bounds. Now off the throw-in. Ball that's sent in. Cabellos, Holloran trying to pressure her. Now over to Ruiz. Ruiz thought about going to Holloran, decides to flip and go towards the midline. Perez the one with it. Now back. Diaz sends it up. Perez trying to track it down, ends up with it on the far side. 2 Sharks are there, only 1 Buccaneer in Ortiz. Getting further and further to that corner, now stuck in the corner. I think that they're going to say it was off on Ortiz, a corner kick opportunity here for the Sharks. Fit is the one heading over there. And an opportunity to make it 4-0. Increase the hole for the Buccaneers. Currently only down 3. Not the worst thing in the world, but 4 will definitely hurt you. As Fit winds up, punches one all the way into the middle. A ball that's still there. Buccaneers just trying to get rid of it. DeCiccio sends one out of bounds. So it's going to be a throw-in opportunity for the Sharks. Now over into the corner. Sharks. Buccaneers defense just trying to do something with it. So Lara punches it across, and a ball that's sent in. Einweichner able to catch it on a 1-hop, and she'll have it outside the box. Making her way over, setting up the goal kick. And she'll wind up and send one all the way to the midline. That ball with the wind gets a little bit past Diaz. And shorter now with it. So now Christina Diaz pushes one up. Solara trying to get past a couple of Buccaneers, gets it over to Perez. Perez, Ruiz, and Hollerman is a ball that's sent up. Ruiz ends up with it back up in front and sends up a shot. Just gets a little bit past Einweichner, and Ava Ruiz with her second goal of the day. So Ava Ruiz with 2 goals, Tegan Holleran with 2 goals. Both have combined for 4, and that's our score so far in this one, 4-0. Thanks to Ava Ruiz and Tegan Holleran. Both with a multi-goal game. And ACCC now in a bigger hole than before at 4-0 off the kickoff. Looking for something to go in as DeCiccio trying to slip past a couple, but not able to do much. She ends up back with it, though. Fit ends up getting a foot on it, and they'll send one all the way to Cabellos. Cabellos trying to track it down. Holleran able to come up with it. Not a lot of Buccaneers with her as she sends one up to Ruiz. Ruiz and Garcia trying to track it down, and Garcia just sends one out of bounds. Ruiz and Garcia were the ones trying to track it. Here at about halfway left to go in this one. Garcia heads one, trying to slip past. Garcia, not a lot of defenders near her at the midline. Gets it up. Gross with it. Gross trying to get past Diaz and sends one up to Quintero, and a ball that just goes a little too far. Fit and Quintero trying to track it down. Substitutions coming in. Christina Diaz looks to be the one coming off. So into the box heads Fit. Not sure if they're going to give the goal kick to Shorter. And they're not. So it's going to be Fit taking it. Fit winds up and now gives it to Shorter. And Shorter coming out of the box. Gets one over. The Sharks with it. And a ball that's sent up to Ruiz. Ruiz over to Hollerman. Holleran trying to slip past, gets it back to Ruiz, and Ortiz able to get a foot on it and send it out of bounds. Ortiz doing a smart play there. Holleran and Ruiz have proven, especially with their 2 goals, they're pretty dangerous in the offensive zone. As now a pass that was intended for Ruiz ends up in Ruiz's hands is now Zalara. Gets it over in the far side. Amaya trying to squeak inside and sends a crosser that Einweichner is able to jump in front of. It's the Buccaneers still looking for their first goal, down 4-0. And Einweichner is going to send one all the way to the midline. Fit and Diaz trying to track it down, still trying to track it down. It's a ball that's sent back. Fit sends it up. And it ends up back to Fit. Fit tosses one up. Zalara trying to track it down with Ortiz. Ortiz trying to get a foot on it, and she just sends it out of bounds. They call a whistle, and it's going to be, I think, Buccaneers' ball. Zalara looked to push Ortiz. No signal yet, and it's going to be Buccaneers' ball. So free kick, Ortiz with it. Trying to do something at the midline. Ball that heads towards the midline, bounces off of Buccaneers and goes backwards. And now sent up in the air, Ortiz trying to get under it along with Perez. Perez able to get a foot on it, but they're going to say she was out of bounds. Buccaneers are going to have possession here off the throw-in. So off the throw-in, the Buccaneers
still with it. Ortiz now. There's a little bit of confusion there. Now the Buccaneers send one in. With it now are the Sharks. Ortiz gets a foot on it after the kick. Sharks still trying to keep it inside the zone. Halloran able to head it. Now with it is Perez. Sends one up to Zalara. Zalara still with it. Now inside the box. Gets past a couple and takes a shot. Bounces off the fingertips of Einweichner. And that's going to be a corner kick here. Halloran is going to be the one to do the duties in the corner. It's been Halloran and Fit both with the corner kicks. And there's been a lot of them. So far, the Buccaneers have yet to have a corner kick. The Sharks have had double digits so far. It's Halloran. Winds up, takes a shot, bounces inside, bounces around a little more, and ends up getting through everyone and past the box. Into the corner now. The Buccaneers with it. Just punch one up for Ruiz. Ruiz able to get a knee on it and send it over the net. An opportunity there. But Ruiz just a little too high on that shot. So everyone walks back towards the midline. 4-0. A hole that ACCC is currently in. And a ball that's sent towards the midline. Stopped by the Buccaneers about midway in between the midline and the net. Gross able to get around a couple. Still trying to get inside. Gross up to Garcia. Garcia punches one over to Cabellos. Sharks defense building a wall to CCO. Thought about going for it, but Ortiz ends up with it. Now pass back to Garcia. Garcia up ahead. Now over to Gross. Gross sends one up to Cabellos, but Cabellos didn't seem ready for it as a ball that trails all the way into the corner. Cabellos trying to get a hand on it, and ball that just kind of slices around ends up over in Halloran's hands. Halloran sends one up. Zalara with it, using her speed, trying to get past. Now Amaya with it in the corner. Amaya just outside the yellow box sends one up and in, and just a little too far right as Einweichner just watches that go by. An opportunity there for the Sharks, like what's been for the majority of this one. Einweichner's going to have another goal kick here. Earlier in this one, the Buccaneers, especially in this first half, had a couple of good opportunities but haven't been able to capitalize. And since then, it's really been all Sharks here, just like what happened in the first half. Both teams had a couple good shots. Weren't able to really do anything with them as a ball that goes out of bounds is going to be the Sharks' ball. Still trying to get something going are the Sharks, who are currently up 4-0. Ball that's sent up to Halloran. Halloran making her way towards the corner. Has Garcia and Lopez on her. Halloran sends one inside for Zalara. Just ball that goes a little too far. And that one's just kicked away by Ortiz. Fit with it at the yellow line. Trying to get past a couple defenders. Ends up getting past a couple defenders. And now trailing inside the box. Sends a shot in. And Einweichner catches it on the one hop. Another goal kick here from Einweichner. Ball that's sent in towards the yellow line. Matea Diaz pushes one over onto the far side. Still trying to play patient, especially at 4-0. Still haven't showed any signs of really taking the foot off the gas. It's a ball that's sent up to Zalara. Zalara gives one over to Amaya on the far side. She sends one in, and Einweichner catches it on the line drive. And another goal kick opportunity. Einweichner with another save. Still allowed 4 goals, but has a lot of saves and a lot of shots faced.
behind Weichner, sends a ball all the way into the offensive zone that just rolls out of bounds. Sharks are going to watch it go. Sharks in their defensive zone, send one in, Fit with it. Fit. Trying to get towards the midline as we start to wind down here. Rosario with it, gets it back to Fit. Fit trying to slip past a couple, ends up getting past a couple. Now makes her way towards the midline. Amaya up to Zalara. Zalara tries to get past a couple, and they're going to call what I think is out of bounds. Sharks are going to regain possession. Fit's going to be the one to throw it in. 4-0, the Sharks lead. If you're just joining us now, Ava Ruiz responsible for 2 of the goals. Tegan Holloran with the 2 others, making the score 4-0 in this one. So multi-goal games for the 2 girls. It's a ball that's sent over to Shorter and punched all the way to the side. Trying to corral it, able to keep it. I thought it was in, but just on the line. Cabellos gets it over to Gross off the throw-in. Fit able to get a foot on it. Now a ball that trails all the way into the corner. Gross trying to corral it. Now on the line, still guarded by Fit, and a ball that goes off of Fit. And Gross makes her way to the corner for the first corner kick of the day for the Buccaneers. Gross is going to be the one to do it. So Gross in the corner with the referee. Everyone makes their way to the box. This is going to be the best opportunity that the Buccaneers have had all day. Gross winds up. Takes a shot. Flutters a little inside. Bodies fall. I can't tell what they just called, but when you're dealing with someone who falls down inside the box, that usually leads to a penalty kick. No signal yet. And I think they're going to give her a penalty kick. So the corner kick was not the best opportunity. This penalty kick is going to be the best opportunity, as DeCiccio on Shorter with an opportunity to make it a 4-1 game. Off the foul from the Sharks. DeCiccio in her bright orange cleats taking on Shorter in her bright pink shirt with an opportunity to make it 4-1. Shorter trying to keep the shutout going. Referee winds it down. DeCiccio takes a step back, fires a shot, goes left side. Shutout is gone. DeCiccio 4-1 with her first goal of the game. DeCiccio steps up in the penalty kick after looked to be Ortiz took a fall. Now 4-1. ACCC still trails in this one. Shorter on the penalty kick. Very tough to stop penalty kicks. Wasn't able to stop that one. Now the Sharks with their first kickoff after a goal in the game. Rosario over at the yellow. Now over to Diaz. Diaz back across. Tries to get one past, but Cabello's able to get a foot on it. Still able to get a foot on it. Cabello's going at it, and a foul's called. Cabello's able to play aggressive there, as Gross is going to be the one to kick it. It looks like, or DeCiccio looks to be heading over to kick it. So Marissa DeCiccio with Holloran playing defense on her. Off the free kick. Just had the goal. Sends one up and inside. An opportunity for Gross to slip past. Bodies fall as Shorter took a fall and she's still down. Slowly getting up though. Shorter took a little bit of a hit there. Shorter just trying to protect the ball. Fit holding her right shoulder now. Both girls seem to be fine, just got a little banged up there.
Shorter, who's played great all game, just let up her first goal of the game with the penalty shot, and she boots one over to the midline. It's now on the far side, a ball that goes out of bounds. Shorter was the one who kicked it out of bounds. Buccaneers just about at that midline, going to have another good opportunity. Still 4-1, quite the hole with not a lot of time left to play. DeCiccio on the receipt of the pass. Zalara ends up with it, and a foul's called on DeCiccio. Gave a little shove to Zalara. And now a free kick. Just outside that midline. Rosario with it. Rosario sends one up. Holloran, the one who was with it, ended up losing it, is now the Buccaneers with it. Ortiz able to get a foot on it and send it back towards the midline. Still with it are the Buccaneers. Vogel on the far side trying to get around a couple Sharks. Ends up getting further and further into the corner. Fit trying to get a hand on it. Ends up getting a foot there, and she'll end up going all the way upfield. It gets around a couple. Still going with it. Fit over to Amaya. Amaya tried to send one up to Fit, but Ortiz gets in front of it and sends it all the way into the defensive zone. Ball that goes out of bounds, throwing on the way for the Buccaneers. I'm going to say it was off the Sharks. Now Vogel on the far side sends one up, but just a little too short, and Diaz able to step up in front of it. Ortiz trying to get around Fit, takes a fall, ends up losing it. Holloran with it. Now it's a one-on-one. Over on the far side, trying to slip past. Lopez is the only one who could stop her. Garcia steps in front, and a ball that goes a little too far wide left. Einweichner watches it go by, and opportunity there for the Sharks, but just a little too far left. ACC currently trails in this one, 4-1. Einweichner just awaiting the goal kick. Not a lot of time left in this one as Fitt's going to take a seat. About 5 minutes or so is DeCiccio with it. Trying to get towards the midline. Trying to get around a couple. Gets around one. He's going to send one up, but no one in the vicinity of it is. Shorter just able to jump on it. Slow down this Buccaneers offense, who is finally starting to show a little bit late in this one. As Shorter's ball just bounces out of bounds. Buccaneers with the throw-in. Another opportunity potentially to make this a 4-2 game. Still a lot left to go in terms of getting back in this one. Off the throw-in, DeCiccio with it, trying to slip past. Gets one over to Gross, but DeCiccio took a fall, and the ball just hits her right in the shoulder when she fell. As DeCiccio, about right where she's going to be, is where the free kick's going to be taking place. She gets up slowly, just looks to be a little banged up. DeCiccio with her hands on her hips, ref talking to her. Guessing she just needs a breather, but DeCiccio, who has the only goal for the Buccaneers off the penalty kick after Ortiz took the fall in the box. The wall's already been built. Now they step up, and DeCiccio, to my eyes, looks to be like she's going to be the one to kick it. Bearing any change, it will be DeCiccio. She steps back, wall's built, she takes a shot just a little too far up and over the fence and over into the street past the cars. As Shorter, she's just going to get set for her goal kick. ACCC really starting to run out of time here. Not a lot of time left in this one as Diaz sends one up. Amaya. Zalara with it. Zalara sends one up to Perez. Perez and Holloran. It's a 2-on-4. 2-on-3, excuse me. It's a ball that's sent up. Holloran able to get a foot on it, and Garcia able to just send it away. DeCiccio at the midline. Able to slip past a couple. Sends one up. Bogle trying to track it down, but Shorter able to get a foot on it. The wind stops it almost completely. Solara able to get a foot. Amaya up ahead. Now to Holloran, a ball that just comes up a little short, trying to track it down now. Still has Lopez on it. Zalara takes a shot that Eidweichner just catches on the line drive. And a goal kick here for the Buccaneers. A ball that gets sent all the way in. Diaz trying to track it down, misses it. Shorter able to just jump on it. She's going to throw in there. As either way, that's going to do it here for this one. 4-1. Sharks beat the Buccaneers of ACCC. Ava Ruiz responsible for 2 goals, as well as Tegan Holloran responsible for 2 goals. That added up to 4. Meanwhile, DeCiccio with the penalty kick had an opportunity and ended up putting it in the back of the net on Shorter. And Shorter, she didn't face a lot of goals in this one. Meanwhile, Einwegner faced a plethora of shots. Absolute ridiculous amount. Also allowed 4 goals, had a couple great saves, but either way, that's going to do it for us here. ACCC falls to the Suffolk Sharks 4-1. You've been listening right here. I've been Nick Carlson, and this is BFA Sports. Tune in next time.